Karen Rhodes. So thank you so much for joining at the last second here. I am so mad right now, girl. You're gonna have to pull me off the cliff a few times today.
Totally understandable, and that is exactly how everybody feels whenever they have one of these security issues happen.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you something. I'm about to I may drop some expletives today, so hopefully I don't overly offend everybody. But I am. If you want to know what authenticity, this is gonna be the authentic Sia. So, Ms. Karen Rhodes, are you ready for the Mike is Listening show?
I am ready. Let's do this.
All right. Oh wrong thing. Oh my god, that's how frazzled I am. Here we go.
Okay.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is
The
listening.
mic is
The
listening.
mic
The mic
is
is
The
listening.
mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Sia with the Mike is Listening show. Today it's gonna be slightly different. I love it. Every episode, every week is gonna be a slightly different format because why the heck not? It's my podcast and live stream. So today I'm gonna be a little feisty. I'm warning you well in advance. One of my clients has gotten what looks like to be a hack or phishing attempt leveraging their profile. So we're going to talk about a topic near and dear to my heart, jerk hackers. These mofos, I don't know what to tell you other than if you are spending your life hacking into someone else's world digitally and taking advantage of them, I swear to God, if I ever meet you in real life, I may go to jail. I despise the soul and essence of jerk hackers. And if you are one of them, I swear, do not come near me. On that note,
Oh, nice.
because of a situation that had happened earlier this morning, I changed up everything that I was going to talk about today. I'll punt that over to next week. So I wanted to focus on the fact of good hygiene and cybersecurity. So at the last second, I invited a very awesome, amazing friend of mine, someone with whom I love and trust and has always been and had my back all these years, Ms. Karen Rhodes, Chief Technologist at Hewlett Packard Enterprise and overall BADASS. Karen, welcome to the Mike is Listening show.
Always glad to talk with you, Sia. Thank you very much for
Oh,
inviting me.
well, thank you for and whoever she canceled the meeting on to be on this show this morning.
Yeah,
I
literally, I jumped out and yeah. Anyway,
I I just want to go on record and say, yeah, sorry, dude, this is way more important, and I'm more special. So there we go. So let me breathe for a second because I am still frazzled. I screwed up my intro and everything. Can I
all
just
good.
tell you the preface again? Let me just reiterate. A client texted me this morning and she had indicated that she went googling for her own podcast and found someone that had her podcast name. So obviously, like any reasonable person as a content creator, you don't want duplication of names. There's
Yeah.
legality issues, that there's like really gray areas, especially within podcasting. Should you trademark it, LLC it, etc. And so I, on my cell phone, not thinking, saw the link and I just simply clicked on it. And I realized the second I clicked on it, her podcast name wasn't the URL. And
Yeah.
me as a former security sales professional, that was like insta red flag. And then I
Hmm.
scrolled down and I looked at the website and it was all BS. It was all BS.
Yeah.
And so I texted my client back and said, okay, you may have gotten potentially hacked. And so I panicked because I clicked on that link. So
Hmm.
there's a couple things here that I want to go with you over with you because I'm knowledgeable enough to be dangerous. And I still had a panic moment where I had to call other security professionals to walk me off the ledge. I'm knowledgeable and I still made a lot of errors, if you will, that
Yeah.
I need you to reiterate what to do, what not to do in a situation. Because us content creators, like I say, we want a home page. We want a landing page for our content for people to find us. We don't want to just post it on social media and say, "Oh, go to my Facebook." That's not the best way to digitally
Right.
market yourself, right? So, girl, I need you to speak to us in layman's terms because there's so
Not a
many people
problem.
here who conceptually understand that they are all potentially at risk. But the bottom line is what is it? What are we looking at? What am I talking about?
Yeah, so what's happening is that people are trying to find money, right? Follow the money and you're going to figure out why somebody's doing something. Very rarely are they going to do it for something that's non-monetary unless they actually know you, right? If they've got a personal grudge against you or against your organization, then they could go after you for that, right? But normally, whenever you're talking about these independent contractors or content creators, it's they look at you've got a million followers or you have this type of a following. And if they can make a copy of your website that looks like a legitimate copy, just enough for them to get clicks on, right? All that they're looking for is for you to click on it. And either they're looking for the advertising agencies to pay them to fill the page with, a ton of ads. We've all clicked on websites and seen, here's 100 different pop-up ads. Well, they're getting paid a percentage of a penny for each of those ads. And the more people that they can get to click on a website and send it to those ads, the more the money they make. Really easy way to do that is to find somebody who's on social media that has a lot of followers, make a site that looks like their site, send out an email, or put it into a Google engine so that it shows up whenever they're doing a search. The people click on that, they get a percentage of a penny every time that that happens. If it happens
Oh,
a few thousand times, that may be enough to make their rent. So that's something that people are doing on the straight financial side, right? That's just straight greed. Another side is stealing personally identifiable information. So if you have an email that comes in that says, "Hey, change your username and password on this website. We've been hacked. Go ahead and click on this link and change your username and password." Uh-uh. Don't do it. Go into your browser, open up the link that you already have saved to your bank or, your social media account or whatever it is. Go to the link that you already know. Don't click on that link in the email because that link in the email is probably sending you to a false website. And I sent you a Word document. I don't know if it came through or not, but basically there is a Roman alphabet that we're all used to, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it's all lovely. And we're used to that. Well, there are other alphabets in the world. So the Cyrillic alphabet is one that's used in Slavic countries. So places like Russia. So it's A, B, V, G, D, E, anyway. And
oh my God. Are you learning
dude,
Russian now?
I did Russian a long, long time ago. So that's about all I got in the alphabet.
Okay.
But, things like A, B, C, those type letters, there are corollaries in the Cyrillic alphabet that look identical. So I could put up car.com and hit enter in the Roman alphabet, and I could put in what looks like CAR, but it's actually Roman. It's actually Cyrillic characters, and it would send you to a Cyrillic website. So it would send you to a Russian website or another Slavic speaking language website. It looks exactly the same. So whenever you're in your email and you're clicking on that link to car.com, I'm using that as an example. I am not affiliated with them at all. But that was just an easy one to translate over to Cyrillic this morning whenever you called me out of the blue. Um, that one
Thank you.
is actually totally Cyrillic, right? So you're going to a website that is not a Romanized alphabet. You're going to a Cyrillic alphabet website. Easy thing to do, right? It looks like it's legitimate. It looks like car.com. You think it's right. And this can happen with any of your financial institutions, any of your any link that you get in the email. I always look at those as this ain't right. I'm going to go onto my links that I've saved where I know where to go. Okay. So that's another thing that people are trying to do is steal that personally identifiable information because a lot of people use the same password over and over and
Over and
over.
over again. You're right.
Please stop doing that, folks. Um, and easiest thing in the world that you can do is actually not getting a password book or anything like that. Get a piece of paper. Get a piece
So
of
we're going
paper.
back to old
I
school
know,
thing.
dude. Go old
And
school. Don't do keyword like the saving applications and stuff out there. Over and over again, people start using those password savers. And then they realize that the
yes.
password saver was actually written by somebody who was going after your personal identifiable information. They say, well,
Oh,
I've got a new password for every website, but you save it in one location. And that one location is a freeware app that was written by little Johnny. Not good. Write it down
So
on a piece of paper. There you go.
so I
So
just finally got it. So, okay, so let me go
that's the
back to this
alphabet,
because it really irked
and
me. So,
yeah, that's the
Roman alphabet's
English
on top, okay, that
in
we're
the top,
sharing,
and then
and then
Cyrillic alphabet is in the bottom.
so it looks
And just
exactly the
because
same.
yeah,
Oh,
only because you have it like not bolded does it look different at all. And you can see that the R is a straight line in the Cyrillic alphabet. That's just because I went quickly, but you can see that there's, let's go from left to right. It's C, B, A, P, O. The lowercase b, yeah, that's not quite right. Uppercase T looks the same. Capital M looks the same. Capital H, which is actually an N in Russian, looks the same as English. So think about how easy it would be to just change one of those letters. That makes it a unique domain name, right?
oh my
On your
gosh.
domain name registration, all of those Cyrillic alphabet letters, if you just change one letter from your domain to a Cyrillic letter, it looks the same to human eye. It's not though.
Okay, so let's go back to this then. Okay, because not to go down that path around nation state hacking, and obviously we could go
There's a
really
reason that Russian
technical.
and Chinese are two languages that I go after. Yeah.
Yeah, that you've learned it. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly you're smart, so you're a brainiac, and I get that. So, okay, how do I say this in a nicely way? So, these types of spoofs that happen for like my client, for example,
Mhm.
this is not a nation state thing necessarily, or could it be where
Yeah.
they're just like, I'm just gonna, or this could be like a kid teenage hacker that's like,
It could
hey,
be any
hey,
of
I want to
them.
make some pennies, and you know what? Humans are inherently, I'm going to say it, humans are inherently dumb, and so
Mhm.
we trust people, I think, by
We do.
nature. So, are you saying we're just getting it?
Well, we're also greedy and lazy. There's a couple of other things we are as well, but people are looking for money and they're looking to get money as easily as they possibly can. If I can get a percentage of a penny for every click that goes over to my website, and I go ahead and spoof 1,000 different people in social media to come over to my website, and I can pay all my bills and I can get whatever I want, and it's easy for me, they're going to do it, right? You have to find some way of making that not a thing that they can do, right? Or outing them. One of the ways is what your friend frankly did, which is ego surfing. Look up your own name, look up your own domain names, look up all of those things and see how are they actually showing up around the world. Have your friends who are in Australia or in another country do the same thing. And, you will find that they are going to get different search results, but just make sure that they're all legit, right? Ask your audience, hey guys, if you see something, say something, right? Just
Mm,
like just like all of our security folks tell us to do, right? See something, say something. Ask your audience. They will crowdsource that and let you know, hey, I just found this website. It's not actually yours, but this is what's going on. Whenever you find that, you can go ahead and look at who is the actual domain owner of that domain. And you can go ahead and put in a complaint with their domain hoster and say, look, this is my website. This is their website. They are putting themselves out there as being this. If you found it in Google, put in a Google complaint and say, hey, this is coming up in a search engine. This is not actually a legitimate organization. And they may go ahead and change their algorithms. They may go ahead and take the website down. They may not. If you're not trademarked, and things like that, it's not a trademark violation for them to kind of do that to you. So legal repercussions are multi-level. You need to go ahead and trademark yourself, make sure that there is some type of patent or trademark, not
or some
patent,
kind of legal
that
binding
you
something,
have
right? So,
to that
okay,
particular name. Yeah.
so while you're talking here, for the audience that's watching, um, I did go to the site here. It was validated that it's a legit government site,
Yes.
but
That is a
go
very good
to,
site.
and by the way, in general, for anyone that has their own business, or and again, if you are posting your content to a quote landing page, homepage, website, if you will, make sure you HTTPS.
S.
Okay, that S is critical. That means it is secured. If you go to a website is just simply HTTP, you are
Mhm.
seriously compromising yourself, and that website is not secured, and it's not what the digital certificates haven't been validated to ensure that this is not a spoofed website. Okay, so HTTPS colon forward slash forward slash, and then of course www, but consumer.ftc.gov, that's the
Mhm.
main page. and then / there's an article that I found that was really good. So FTC or consumer.ftc.gov /articles / how recognize and avoid phishing scams. Educate yourself, you guys, because I have been touting as much as possible to, get your brand recognition out there. This is all about, creating content and value, and we are a digitally, I guess, how do you call it, like digitally marketed society that we're all evolving into, with personal branding, with corporate branding, and meshing, if you're a corporate employee, your personal brand with your corporate brand, etc. You've got to get protected. You've got to understand what the ramifications of exposing yourself to digital media and to what can potentially happen. Okay. Especially as you grow your audience and leadership and followership and engagement in your community. I cannot express this enough to you. You are not just a little person, and who gives a rat's butt about me? I'm just a little guy. What information could they possibly get from me? I'm an open book. It's not that, you guys. What these a-holes are going after is, like you said, click rates, so they get paid based on just clickbaiting people on the number of times they can get people landing on a website. Or it could be, you know what? Maybe it's not you they're going after. Maybe
Mhm.
it's your clients, it's your friends, it's your network,
Absolutely.
right? Or I don't care if you're worth $5 or $5 million. Anytime that anyone can get potential information on your finances, guess what? It's still more money than they got in their pocketbook right now, right? So you're right. Follow
Yep.
the fracking money trail. Follow the potential as to why. It's always money. It always goes back to money. And
Yeah.
of course, if anyone has heard any about the recent hacks that's been going on, okay, whether it's Colonial Pipeline or the Solar Winds, you guys, there is very huge repercussions for our national security and your personal security and your own data integrity. I am like trying to get away from my mic right now because I'm yelling. I am so fracking, and I'm about to drop another F bomb there in my head. Annoyed. We are got to do our own due diligence as individuals and as business owners and as corporate employees and as citizens, because the
Yes.
second these hackers, these a-holes get into, and for those that don't understand how bad this is, okay, most of the applications we use are cloud based. They're using Amazon, they're using Microsoft Azure, they're using HPE Cloud, they're using all these different cloud platforms that our data is going into, that's housing and that's running these platforms that we were like, hey, I've got a really cool app here. I'm going to download it. Well, guess what? Where do you think your data is freaking going? So there are software tools on top of that that manages this distribution of data. I mean, for those that don't understand what I'm talking about, I swear to God, let me put it to you this way. Their solar winds, the supply chain, the reason why that was such a freaking huge deal, or the fact that Microsoft got hacked, because we're all using it. And the
Mhm.
way they got in was monitoring application. These are supposed to be like the the overhead umbrella views of looking at other sub applications just to make sure everything's kosher. Well, if that thing got hacked into, guess what? Everything else underneath it. Okay.
And that's exactly what you need to be careful of, is it's not just your worth. How much am I worth, right, to hack?
Yes.
It's, some of these sites are made for malware. And the malware
Yes.
infection, whenever you click on that website, I get infected with malware whenever I click on it. And then everybody I connect to gets infected, right? So if I have an upcoming podcast, right? Say I'm you, and you've clicked on the link, you say you've got infected with the malware. And then you have a podcast with an executive next month and you send them a link. What is the probability that that link, that attachment, that whatever is going to also have a piece of malware in it, right? They're not necessarily just going after you as a target, they're going after connectors. So that's what SolarWinds was, right? That's what a lot of these different tools are, that are supply chain, is what they call it, is supply chain issues. And there's been several of them that have happened.
Yes.
So
I'm ugh.
whenever those happen, though, Kaseya was another one that just recently happened, and it hit 1,500 managed service providers, right? There's all of these different, but you are a hub, because you are in the public. You are a hub, and you are connecting onto other people. They know that you're communicating with a lot of people. They know that people are going to trust your emails and open them. They know that you are going to be communicating at mass scale. So you are a force multiplier. You are the whale that they want to infect. Whenever it comes to like nation states, whenever it comes to things like that, they're going to want to infect you. So get malware checks on your system. Buy something. Don't get something freeware. Just don't. Use a proper anti-phishing component
Yes.
on your email. Make sure that you have email scans that are going on that are checking the emails that are going on. I personally like to have encryption and encryption keys in my email so that my data is encrypted whenever I'm sending it across. If I have my private key and the public key is out there that unlocks my message, people download my public key, I send them an email, they decrypt it with the public key. Yay, it really was Karen, right, that sent you that
Right.
email. There's a little bit more validation that that is true information, that it's not something that's sent from Karen, but with a different A, right? A Cyrillic A or whatever. If you have email addresses, don't go with the public domain names, right? Don't go with like a google.com or, one of those public type domain names because it's very easy to flip one of those characters to a Cyrillic and then it looks like it's Karen, but it's not. It's
Right.
actually a partial Roman, partial Cyrillic email address, right?
Right.
So get your own domain name, be very protective of it. Do your maintenance on your systems. Patch whenever your phone, your computer, your domain, your website, all your tools, whenever it says, "Hey, a new patch has come out," apply it.
Right.
It's the simple things. It's simple hygiene. So I tell people it's just like securing your house. There's certain things that everybody does, right? You close your door, you close your windows, you lock your doors. Then you have a level up. Maybe you put in a security system. Maybe you get a barky dog. Maybe you put a rose bush in front of the mirror or in front of the window so that people don't like come into
Climb
into the
in.
window,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. You do certain things to secure your house, but you also do a digital level of security. If you go on vacation, we do not post that, "Hey, look, I'm on the
What?
beach in the middle of
What?
blah," right? And hope everybody's doing great. Nobody's watching the dogs or whatever, right?
Right.
Hope the dogs are having great time at doggy camp. And then everybody goes, "Oh, cool. That's where your house is. I know generally where it is. I can just hang out on that street and go, okay, nobody's there. Cool. Let me go ahead and break in," right? Turning your phone, turn off location
Yes. Take
detection. Seriously, there's so many apps that are following your location that you do not need to have following your location. And this is so serious, especially for those that have younger kids. I'm not a fan of having kids have phones because they don't know how to do security. But abductions, child
ugh,
abductions. The kid is sitting out in front of their school for 2 hours waiting on mommy to, pick them up every Thursday. How easy is it to look at an app that you made for a kid that then has a location? The kid goes, "Yeah, sure, go ahead and let it do my location," because kids just accept everything. Um, and then all of a sudden they know that little Johnny or little Sarah is sitting in front of the school every Thursday for 2 hours.
and
And
that
they can go by and they find out on Facebook that this is your mom's name, this is what's going on. I mean, they can track you via these, and it's not they, the government. It's they, the people who are making the cute little apps that you're playing with on your phone, that your kids are playing with on their phone.
right.
There is a lot of danger out there, but it's usually they're trying to get something from you, whether it's personally identifiable information, whether it is money, whether it is connections that you have, whether it is something physical like a human. Human trafficking is at an all-time high in the world right now, and that is absolutely horrible. But
And that's something we do not talk about is the human traffic
we
component.
don't,
I mean, there's I
and
mean, there's
it's
there's
it,
so much here that we could go down the rabbit hole, Karen, and it and
there
it
is, but
and
it's
but
doable to maintain, to keep your security is what I want people to walk away with, because it's so daunting to go, "Oh my gosh, this is so daunting. I want to disconnect," right? You have
yeah,
a
but
house, you know how to do home security, right? There's a
yeah,
level that everybody's going to feel comfortable with. You're not going to live in Fort Knox. You're not going
no,
to have every security system on your virtual world
I
either.
I absolutely agree with you on this, but here's the whole thing is because we are such a digitally native society now, really,
Mhm,
I don't care if you're generationally a boomer or whatnot, everything that we're all touching today has an IP address, right?
mhm,
And so here's where my head is at too, though, is guys, when my client had called me and I said, looks like you got hacked or spoofed, right?
Yep.
Just out of precaution, change your LinkedIn. LinkedIn got hacked. Okay. So maybe that's how they got the information from this individual. Or Facebook. Facebook has been compromised so many times. That could be it. Or quite frankly, change up your password every few months or whatever, or weeks or whatever have you.
Yeah.
Change it up to, don't do it every consistently 3, maybe change it up to 1, 4. So it's not like a programmed or anything like that. But understand, and I had another colleague walk me off the ledge earlier this morning, Karen. So I did calm down a little bit for you.
Thanks.
And he told me, he goes, look, we put so much data out there, like you say, that we naturally don't realize our GPS is on for whatever reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I need GPS to drive, right? And I forget to turn it off, for example. The stuff that we post on, like, oh, it's my daughter's 5th birthday. Well, people can math, right? If that post was 5
Yeah.
years ago, guess what? The kid's 10, right? So we don't
Yeah.
realize how much data that we've put out there willingly. And let's not mince words here. Google and Facebook, they are data companies. That is all what they are. They're data companies. They are phishing. We are their product, and we willingly give our product to them because we like the convenience of community engagement, ego
Mm-hmm.
gratification, whatever have you. So this is a crisis, I think, of our conscience of humanity and how technology can surpass our human mind to understand it and wrangle it in. And again, we're inherently lazy, I think, as humans, right? We like our conveniences.
We're
And I
lazy and we're greedy. And those two things play against each other. That if I'm greedy and I really want that app, but I don't want to have to pay for it, and there's a free version out there, am I going to go download the free version? I might.
yeah,
Right? Also, you have the digital natives that have grown up with this technology, and you and I, whenever we picked up the phone, whenever we were kids, it was don't say that mommy's not home, don't give your address to a stranger, don't do these basic security things, and that was drilled into our heads whenever we were kids. And the digital generation, the digital native generation, they look at it as I have to give information in order to get something. In order to get that free app, I have to put in my name, phone number, address, whatever. That information is out there. There's no corking that bottle after that's out, right?
right.
That genie's out of the bottle already. But there's certain information that is super private, right? Your passwords, your social security number, things like
Yes.
that. You want to be incredibly careful about how you deal with those. Making sure that you use dual authentication whenever you're going out to your bank, that it texts you a code or whatever, send something over to an email, that you use a private domain name, not a public domain name. Don't cheap out on security.
Yes.
There are very small things that are worth paying for. Using a key that goes to the same lock and is a universal lock works fine for filing cabinets in an office. Whenever it comes to like cube, whenever you're looking at the little cube locks, there's usually about 5 keys for those. Okay, that's cheap. That's cheap and cheerful, fine. You wouldn't do that for your security system for your front door, right?
Right.
You wouldn't have your private information that you keep in a safe about your mortgage or your financial standing or anything like that, or your social security number. I wouldn't post that on the wall behind me,
Right.
right? Why post that on the internet? If you're not okay literally holding it up like this and showing the world, don't be typing it in.
Can I just tell you one thing really irks me? And all this, again, I kind of picked on the phishing because that seems to be the
Yeah.
most easily socially engineered way in. In fact, what was that one attack? And there's been so many frequent ransomware attacks on this, is
Mhm.
the CFO will get a spoofed email from the CEO saying, pay this
Yeah, that's whale fishing.
$20,000. And it's again, y it happens to everybody, even those that are most aware, because
But
again, we
whenever
inherently trust.
the thing is whenever it happens, speak up, say something. Talk to the
Yes.
experts, find out what needs to happen, because your immediate response, if you think you've been a victim of a malware or of a phishing attack or a virus or whatever it happens to be, say something instantly. Hey,
Yep.
I was a goober. I clicked on this. What
Yep.
do I need to do? I found this. I need to have some help here. speak up quickly because they're waiting for you to just go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that.
Or I'm
And
afraid I'm gonna
wait,
get fired.
I'm afraid I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
Your security team at your work will not fire you for that. They will
No.
say, thank you for speaking up. Because for every one that does speak up, there's probably 20 that aren't.
Oh, absolutely. Again, it's feeding on the weaknesses of the human being the weakest link. So
Yeah.
I have a podcast, full disclosure, called Ransomware Battleground. It is sponsored by Air Gap Networks. Thank you guys very much. It's all
Mhm.
about zero trust, right? And to me, is for those that have IT organizations or a large enough organization where you have it, or you have, partner up with a reseller, right, to take care of your infrastructure for you. There the assumption was zero trust. So if you've ever heard that buzzword, everybody out there, it's assuming you can't trust anybody. You can't trust yourself even, right? And so how do you implement in a way where we know we're functioning from the context of we know we're going to get attacked at some point. We know potentially that someone is chasing the dollar numbers and will ransom you. My
Mhm.
friend, another colleague that I'm trying to get on the Ransomware Battleground podcast, is a small business, tiny small business and startup, and his servers got hacked. Thank goodness the guy is technical and knew exactly what to do, but he saw the ransomware landing
Mhm.
page, said, haha, you're hacked. And he shouted some expletives as well. And he's like, what the F? I'm a
So
small business. Why do you want to do this to me? But they went there like, hey, give us $10,000. And he's like, F you, I don't have
yeah,
$10,000. Like, you know what I mean?
when
So,
it when it comes to security, though, you have essentially 4 phases. You have protect, right? Your antivirus, your anti-malware. You have detect. Finding out when something happened is really important, right? I clicked on that. Okay, yeah, I'm the goober. Respond. What do you do when it happens? Say something, go out to, FTC, whatever, and then recover. If you have backups of your desktops, of your servers, of your Active Directory environment, of all these things, of your website, and somebody says, hey, I've got a ransomware, I'm going to go ahead and encrypt all your data, ha ha ha, nanny nanny boo boo. That's lovely. Kill it.
yes,
Recover from a backup that is not physically on the same cloud. If you
yes,
go copy, paste, or replicate, if you replicate, you're replicating the same, ransomware or whatever, right? That doesn't work. You need a backup somewhere else that is just sitting there in its little vault. So whenever somebody goes and infects this to the point where it's dead, you can go ahead and shoot that, delete it, and then recover from an own good backup. The recovery is so important
yes,
because that's what gets you back in business again. Paying the ransom, it's only, I think it's 60 something percent of people or of data that you actually get back if you pay the ransom. And only about 6% of people get 100% of their data back. So
wow,
most of these ransomware events that you see where people even paid the ransom, what actually saved them and kept them in business was not paying the ransom. It was that their
right,
IT departments had
the
a
backup.
backup somewhere that they recovered. So even the big ones that you hear about in the public that paid the ransom, they didn't get their data back.
Wow.
Don't trust hackers.
Yes, no. Oh, and
They're,
also
they they
they
don't
know
have an
you
ethic.
pay. They know you
Yeah,
become known as a payer. They're gonna
exactly,
attack you again.
exactly, and
Yeah.
it just escalates. So don't feed the beast. Make sure that you have protect, detect, respond, recover. Once you
Uh,
have that, you can kind of sleep easy.
I love that. I love that. And it's interesting that you mentioned that because this is another podcast that's about to go live that I am a part of with my partner Leah on this one. It's called CISO Diaries, and we are
Mhm,
hearing um, that exact mentality with the CISO leadership that we've been engaging with. And so
mhm.
time is up and we ran long again. Karen Rhodes, I love you to death. You're there's a reason why you're my sister and I love you forever for this. For anyone that
Always
might
glad.
want to like get a hold of you and want to learn more about, what your viewpoints are, how
Mhm.
can one get a hold of you?
Best one is probably work email address.
Or LinkedIn.
Or LinkedIn.
How
Actually,
about
hit me up
LinkedIn?
on LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn. Just look Karen Rhodes, and you'll find me there. So pretty easy. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so, you guys, I was in a mood this morning. I'm feeling a little bit better. Not really. I really hate hackers. I really hate the whole ground you freaking walk on. And so help me. And by the way, the reason why I'm also very bitter, every single in-law, parent, grandparent generation that I know has paid or done some sad mistake and they've gotten hit by these a-holes. So thousands of
Absolutely.
dollars of my boyfriend's family, my own mother, my sister's in-laws, they've all got hit and they're educated. We've told them
I
time and
think we
time
need to
again.
have another conversation about that, about how to help protect your family members from some of the social engineering that goes along that really can bankrupt them in their retirement years.
I'm
That
in.
might be a good
So,
one.
girl, whenever you're ready, I am in, and I will try to be less emotional. I'm just really feisty this morning because this is so pissing me off because, oh,
Understand.
so much, so much. So, anyway, everyone, if anyone has any questions about this, hit me up on LinkedIn. Obviously, you're watching my
Mhm.
video right here, so or on YouTube or on Facebook. I have tons of colleagues and amazing, trusted, credible professionals that I can send your way to advise on your business personally. Anyone that wants to have drinks in the DFW area, love having those types of gatherings. And I mean, if you really want to know the honest to brutal truth on things, to how to protect yourself and your data, by all means, hit me up because I can talk about this all day long and I'm way over time. So, Karen Rhodes, thank you so much. I think this wraps it up for the Mike is
Thank you.
Listening show.
Bye all.
Bye.